Welcome to Audit Archive, where we run you through some of the most questionable and rather atrocious police encounters. Today, we're looking at a case where a police officer first illegally detained an innocent woman and then beat her up after placing her in custody. The officer is now facing severe consequences. On May 20th, 2023, the Loveland Police Department received a 911 call reporting that an adult female was seen wandering in and out of traffic and speaking incoherently in the area around North Garfield Avenue and East 29th Street in Loveland, Colorado. In response to this, Officer Nick Hobbs arrived on the scene and located the female subject, 59-year-old Angelia Hall.
Nothing, just walking along, singing a song all day.
Can you just hang out and talk with me, please?
I'm just singing a song all day.
Okay, are you walking in any traffic, though? Ma'am?
I'm just singing a song all day long.
Try 263, she's walking away from
Is there no freedom?
There is, but
I can't walk along and sing a song. See, I have the full volume.
Perfect.
So
well,
I can't walk along.
Not on the road. You know what I mean? So I'm getting told that you're like out in the roadway.
Oh, okay.
Can you stop with me and just talk with me just for a second?
There's no sidewalks.
I know. I get that.
Where do a sidewalk go? Where can I be? Where I can see the full volume, right? Don't you see? So where are the sidewalks? Where am I supposed to be? Where is the mark of the deceived?
You just don't want to walk in the traffic
where
and get hit by a car.
Well, then where should I be?
Well, where do you live?
There's nowhere for me to be. You don't have no design, no degree.
Well, let's stay out of the roadway, right? You don't want to get hit.
The roadway, okay.
There is, ma'am. What's going on? Where do you live?
Ma'am? If you gave me a sidewalk, I guess I'd have
Could you just sit down for me and talk with me, please? Ma'am? Ma'am, do you have an ID?
I'm just walking, singing a song, dude.
I got you, but you're walking in the roadway.
Well, okay, but there's no sidewalk, is there?
But if you're walking out on 287,
there's no sidewalk, is there? I was crossing the road.
Can I give you a ride somewhere?
No, thank you.
As seen in the footage, Officer Hobbs was essentially trying to detain Miss Hall by asking her to sit down and speak with him. It's worth noting that even though the Loveland Police Department received reports about Miss Hall walking in and out of traffic, she clearly wasn't doing that when Officer Hobbs arrived, and she was certainly very coherent when she claimed that there was no sidewalk. So where else was she supposed to walk? These factors prove that Officer Hobbs really didn't have a good enough reason to detain Miss Hall. Despite this, he continued to pursue her.
Are you from Loveland?
Maybe. I'm from all lands. You see, the land, the air, the sea, from Oceania to Oceania. I divide this disease.
Okay.
Of the fucking neon green and the greed of the fucking obscene, of the fucking glitter of the Hobbs.
That's me.
I know.
I got you. Well, I'm here to help you out. What can I do for you?
It doesn't mean they own us, even though they name and label. It's okay. They don't.
What can I do for you, man? What can I call you? What's your name?
Angelia.
Am I saying that right? Officer Hobbs. My first name's Nick. Yeah. Nicholas, yeah. But I go by either one, right? People call me both, so. What can I do to help you out?
Hey, I'm just going to go my way. I'm just going to take a breath.
Sure.
I got
can I give you a ride somewhere?
Of the Fifth Element.
Do you think I can give you a ride somewhere?
Well, I don't think so, unless you have a cigarette.
I don't have any cigarettes. I don't smoke, unfortunately.
I don't think you can help me, and that's a very good deal.
Sorry,
I'm working on that way.
Trying to quit? Are you trying to quit smoking? Yeah. Fair enough.
I had a year in.
Okay. I got you.
It's better than a lot of other things.
True. My dad smoked for a long time, so I don't think it's that big of a deal.
My mom just died, so.
I'm sorry to hear that.
COPD.
That's
last night, to what degree? The degree of what we see doesn't matter. It's nothing but a morph reality. I've been singing.
I got you. You're singing. That's cool.
For a very long time.
Well, where are you headed to?
And nobody even hears it. It's like they just stay sublime in the Nazca lines.
Okay.
You see, sublime. I don't go sublime. Ever.
Well, where are you going?
I stay above line, not sublime. I don't go with the gnomes. I don't know their home. I only know north, where the throne is. with the aurora borealis, where heaven meets earth, where we exist, where we're magnetically pulled, not according to the ones that I call pull. Okay, so have a nice day.
Well, can I help you with anything?
No, I'm just...
Where are you going to head to, just so I know you're safe?
Safe?
Yeah, I want you to be safe.
I'm going to be safe in this place, really? Really? I'm going to be safe for the better good of who? Who's in the hood? Safe
I just
from
want
what?
you to, like, physically,
What would
right?
I be safe from?
Just...
Is there somebody after me?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
I don't even know you.
Well, why would I be safe?
You're just, if you're out here, you don't have a jacket, it's going to get cold eventually.
No, I'm fine.
You know what I mean? Stuff like that.
5 degrees. I safe winter out here.
Where do you...
Snow at times.
Where
In
at?
between hotels and friends and fucking, you know, just Naz.
Well, where can I get you
wine,
to?
So this weather is great, so
it is.
What do I have to fear?
Well, I just don't want you to get hit by a car.
Oh, a car?
Yeah.
I have to fear a car?
Well, I mean, if you're walking in the roadway, yeah.
Really? I would?
Don't you agree, or no?
Well, they've never bothered me, no. I don't agree. I've never agreed to that degree of the fifth.
Well, where are you walking to?
The 5G, because I'm of the fifth element, you see.
Okay.
I'm not of that degree. I don't listen to that.
At this point, Officer Hobbs has been engaged in a completely unnecessary conversation with Miss Hall. She has already stated numerous times that she doesn't need any sort of help, and even tried to walk away at one point. But Officer Hobbs appeared to remain interested and continued to question her. This is also a good time to discuss whether Officer Hobbs actually has the authority to detain Miss Hall, something that he's clearly trying to do. The Fourth Amendment to the U.S. Constitution prohibits unreasonable searches and seizures. When a subject is detained, it is considered a seizure under the law. It's generally understood that, to briefly detain a citizen, an officer must have reasonable suspicion that the person being detained has been involved in criminal conduct. In this case, it could be argued that Officer Hobbs had absolutely no reason to believe that Miss Hall had committed a crime. Despite this, Officer Hobbs still attempted to ask for Miss Hall's ID.
Well, do you have any kind of, like, identification on you? Just like an
I already told you my
Just your
name.
First name, yeah.
That is my identification.
What's your last name?
Aurora borealis. Hey, this is the detection of the day of the sway of the pendulum.
What's your last name?
You don't go north today. You keep eating on the sinew that way.
Ma'am.
Wondering.
Where are you headed to?
I am walking on my free land country.
You are, and I'm not saying you're
Sorry,
wrong.
they don't have sidewalks in the place that I do.
Well, they do.
Sorry,
they do along
I don't
the highway.
go by the sublimes of the youth.
Okay. All right. Well.
Full volume.
Okay.
Full volume. Clear. I don't
273-263.
But an X.
Do you need an ambulance or anything?
I don't please.
Copy.
The
I'm in a
white
parking lot
flag.
at Thrift now,
I'm not
but
been
she's
bad.
not willing to cooperate with me. Okay, you'll see me over here.
Put the lines here.
Ma'am.
This is my land.
I'm trying to help you out. Where are we going, sir? Ma'am.
I don't
let me help you.
Your way. I'm just walking.
I know you're just walking.
Is there some problem with that?
Well,
I can't walk and sing.
Where are you going to?
It doesn't matter.
It does matter.
Why do I have to say where I'm going when I'm just walking in a free country singing a song full volume?
I got you.
Why can't I do that? Is there no freedom today? Have I been sold out to China this way? Our oil reserves sold out to China, have you heard? You better call in the PSYOPs, you spy.
What is that?
Fucking if walking freedom this
You
day.
can,
just
but you're
walking along.
You're walking in front of cars, and I don't want that to happen.
Officer Hobbs had now been following Miss Hall for a good few minutes and tried his hardest to get her ID. As expected, Miss Hall got agitated because of this and emphasized that she had the freedom to do whatever she was doing. She even continued to walk away in an attempt to de-escalate the situation and get this ordeal over with. Unfortunately, Officer Hobbs didn't want that to happen, so he called for backup. Officer Russell Moranto joined Officer Hobbs and immediately escalated the situation by aggressively confronting Miss Hall and physically restraining her without context. Unsurprisingly, Officer Moranto's demeanor was promptly met with retaliation from Miss Hall, and things took a turn for the worse.
Problem, dude. You come to me face and face. I'm just walking.
I got you, you're walking.
Multiple callers that you were blocking traffic.
Multiple callers.
So I need you to stop.
Blocking traffic. Don't touch me, dude.
You're being detained.
Don't touch me,
Do you have
dude.
an ID on you?
Don't touch.
Okay.
Don't
Then I
touch
won't
me.
again. Will you cooperate with me?
Don't touch
Do
me.
you have an ID on you?
Don't touch me.
Are you going to identify
Don't
yourself?
touch me.
She
I'm
only-
just walking,
you're
singing a
lawfully
She only
song.
told me her first.
Don't touch me.
Stop. Don't fight me.
I'm just fucking
fight.
walking along.
You are being detained.
I have no freedom to walk
Do
in
you have
this
an ID? Do
land.
you have an ID on you? Do you have an ID on you?
I'm just walking.
Okay.
What have I done wrong?
Obstructed
Let go of
traffic
me.
multiple times.
No, I'm not. I'm walking
You're
through.
now, but it took us a minute to get here.
I'm fucking walking
Multiple people
through.
calling. Are you willing to work with me?
Oh, well, I'm walking through. Get your hands off of me.
At this point, you're being detained.
Get off of me. For
Place your
what
hands behind your
reason?
back.
You fucking disease. Seeds. You. No
She said we can have
freedom
one
left.
detained this time.
Madacanian pieces of shit.
Is there any way to detach your backpack here? Is there any way to take your backpack off?
Happy day. No
Say what?
You're good, man.
matter
Yeah, you're good, you're good.
You.
These are just music notes. Okay. If you're gonna destroy them, that's on you. Can you come over here, grab her arm so we can get her backpack off?
What are you trying to do? Just trying to get her bag off?
Yeah, let's get her
Can't
bag off.
even
Just gonna have your
walk
bag off,
across
right?
the street. Can't even walk and sing along a day. And pieces of no Madacanian. Can't even walk in freedom like this is it. I'm just walking, didn't even do a
How much have you had to do
fucking
today?
thing. Pieces of shit, drip, drip, drip. Fuck, this is it, you guys. Just walk and they bring out their disguise. How do you like it? Have a nice day. They gave our oil reserves
Mine's far
away
too.
to
Yeah.
China,
Yours is
don't
closer.
you
Can
know?
grab yours?
And have a nice
yours at?
day.
It's
They
like
own
on the other side of
they
the
own
street.
the
Holy cow.
AMC
Okay.
theaters and
right.
land in Montana.
Now, for some reason, Miss Hall is officially detained and placed in handcuffs. It becomes pretty tough to determine Officer Moranto's reasoning behind this. But what's for certain is that he definitely didn't have a good enough reason to detain her anyway. However, things are about to get pretty outrageous soon. Regardless, Officer Hobbs then spoke to some of the witnesses who made the calls to report Miss Hall's behavior, and then subsequently placed Miss Hall in the backseat of his patrol vehicle.
Her in the middle of the street at all for evidence?
If you can, yeah. Let me give you my card, and I have my info on there. You can just send it to my email.
like straight
It'd probably come from both of us because there were two separate occasions.
So that means the same
Yeah.
thing.
You just send it to that email in there, please. I
Okay.
appreciate that,
Yeah,
guys.
I
Thanks.
figure it's one of those
We're just
situations.
gonna-
I didn't want her to get hit.
Yeah, we're just gonna try to get her help. So
That's all we
she's
wanted.
not in the right mind of something. Either she's super intoxicated or something. So
I figured they'll be fair enough to know that. Stuff like that.
yeah, I was just waiting for another officer to get here.
That's
So
what we.
I don't like. Yeah. I try to.
I was like, I'm hanging by your car because I was like, no one's gonna see your car.
Yeah.
No,
I try
I
to
know you didn't
de-escalate
like
stuff
it that
until
far.
I get someone else here.
Yep. All right, man. I appreciate
Thanks, guys. Yeah, I just sent it to that email, and if we do have anything on her, that'd help out. So
Okay.
probably just end up putting her on a hold and let her
clear through
detox
system.
off. Yeah.
That's all we wanted.
We just didn't want
And it
her
was
to
funny
get
because we saw you
hurt.
cross the road, and I was like, she's like, are you chasing him? I was like, I have to show him where she is.
Yeah, I was looking for her. You just, thanks, guys. I
Yep.
appreciate it.
Have a safe night.
Too. Thank you. You think an EC?
What's that?
You think you need to see?
I think so. Let's
Yeah, let's do it.
What's it?
Huh?
We'll leave this just for a sec, but let's move this up.
Yep. You ready?
Yeah.
You got it? Or you need help?
No. Yeah, is your car unlocked?
It is?
Driver side, passenger side.
Just walking
Let's do that side.
Hey, we're gonna go
If
ahead
I'm
and
gonna
move
trans,
forward.
let's do that side.
The way it is.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it.
Walking the plan. They detain you. You're just walking along, speaking the truth.
Go ahead and step inside the car.
This is why the sound of silence is true.
Go ahead and
If you speak the truth, they'll detain you. There's a clue. The disease.
Have a seat, please.
There we go. Thank you. I appreciate it.
I was doing nothing wrong.
Yeah, so the RP is going to send me the video through my email if you need it. So
Perfect. Thank you. I would appreciate that. I'm just gonna find an ID.
here you go.
Thank you. Trying to find any other kind of ID.
That's what I was kind of thinking too, and I was just waiting for you to get here before I started grabbing.
Oh yeah, I get it. I
Okay.
totally get
Just so
it.
you kind of knew what I was doing.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
told the same people that because I was just trying to calm her down until someone got here.
Yeah, no, I very much understand.
I don't like going hands-on with people until I at least know someone's involved. But I was thinking EC2 hold because she was legit standing in traffic. She's obviously, I think, intoxicated.
Oh,
I can
she's,
smell it.
I can smell it.
Yeah,
She's
so-
slurring her words. She's having trouble walking.
Yeah. I don't know if usually MH doesn't help with ECs, do they?
No, not
Okay.
At this point, the officers decided to take Ms. Hall to the local hospital to have her checked out. Officer Hobbs drove her there, while Officer Moranto followed. It's worth noting that Miss Hall was not arrested. She was detained and is now being transported to the hospital.
You fucking little whore. Fuck you. Oh, a seatbelt, really? Oh, there you go. What are you charging me with? What are you charging me with?
We're not.
Charging me with?
Ma'am, I'm
I don't want to
explaining
go
it
to
you.
the
Look at me.
hospital. I have a right.
Look at me.
What are you
I'm
charging
explaining
me
it to
with?
you.
Then I want to be let go. What are you charging me with?
Once you stop yelling at me, I'll explain it to you.
What are you charging me?
You're not being charged with anything. You're getting.
I can be as I want to be,
You're getting-
not according to your.
If you're not gonna let me talk, then I can't explain it to you. Okay?
You know.
Okay.
You nasty
All right.
one piece of that shit. Your Brady's River dried up last year, you know. Yeah. Out. Followers.
And somewhat physically. She's not gonna listen to me, so I'm just gonna go.
Fucking hand.
You definitely coming, right?
Yeah. Oh yes.
Okay.
Shit.
All right. Let's do it.
My car's just waiting over there.
Okay. I'll meet you there.
You see that? I want the video brought down now.
Usually it's all
I
on video.
was walking and he started pushing me. I want the video of him pushing me when I was just walking. I want the video. Can you get the video of him pushing me when I'm just walking gently? Because he can't handle the truth.
This is where things got very bad. The officers initially brought Ms. Hall into one of the examination rooms so a nurse could look at her. As this went on, Officer Moranto snatched the papers that Ms. Hall had in her hands, and this severely escalated the situation. Ms. Hall resorted to first spitting on the ground, and then spat at Officer Moranto also. It must be noted that Ms. Hall's behavior was not justified at all. She was in the wrong for doing such a thing, and simply got herself into unnecessary trouble. However, Officer Moranto's response to her action was much worse and completely unacceptable. Watch as he physically assaulted Ms. Hall by punching her in the face while she was handcuffed in a seat.
I walked down the street. Hey, give it back to me, you.
It has to go with your property.
Hey, I can have it.
Angela, yeah.
Why can't I have a piece of
Because they have
paper?
policies here. You
Then
can't.
take my pants off too. Take my shirt off. Give me my piece of paper. Why can't I have it?
Hey,
Piece of Why can't I
Angelia.
have the paper, you piece of
Angelia.
You enjoy the fifth element.
Hey.
You wouldn't even know, you
Angelia.
fucking swine piece of
If you
shit.
continue to
So I'll
behave
tell you
this
what
way,
brings me in here today.
do
I was
not spit
walking
and do
down
not
the
yell. I
street.
will not
and
tolerate
these
that.
come up.
You can calm. I will
Put
not sit here.
handcuffs on me as you seen. They fuck a piece of paper right out of my head. You too. Can't even fuck a piece of paper right out of my head. Just instigating me. Authority. Don't even
kick me.
Really? You can handcuff me, you asswipe. Give me my paper back. Yeah. See how he instigates? Fucking
Can you speak to me then if you don't like him? Don't spit. Oh. Hey.
See what he does?
Back off.
See what he does?
Back off.
Me. I want video of that. I want video of that.
Just sit down.
I want video of that. I want video of that. I want video of that. He punched me in the face.
Damn, sit down.
I want video of that. I didn't touch
I will
it.
handle
My
it.
hands are handcuffed.
Joey,
He punched me in the face. He
NCR, please.
fucking punched me in the face. Did you see that? I have my handcuffs. I can't even fight back against that rust. I'm gonna f*** him. I'm taking him down. I have my hands cuffed. I can't even fight back. He punched me in the face. I can't even fight back. I can't even fight back. I can't even save my life. He come after me. I can't even save my life. He punched me in the face and my hands are tied. He's fighting me. He's punching me in the face.
He's out of the room.
He's punching me in the face. Do you see my black eye? He punched me in my face. I don't even have any hands to fight back.
Ma'am,
He's
I
punching
understand.
me
He's
in the
not in the room
face.
anymore.
Do you see that?
Sit down, please.
He's fucking me in the face.
Sit down,
I don't
okay?
even have my fans free
Ma'am.
to fight back.
Sit
Is
down.
this liberty?
Hey, it's okay.
Is this
He's
what
not
you
in
call
here anymore.
fucking justice? How
Okay.
can he just sucker punch me? I can't even fight back.
I understand.
You
Angelia, I need you to...
He just punched me right in the face. And I don't even have free hands to fight back.
I understand.
Fucking way.
Look at
This is the way of your
Yeah.
fucking just punch me and my hands are tied. I can't even fight for my life.
Will you spit on him? I got you. Okay. Alright.
Fuck.
Okay. We're calm down. Look at me. I'm gonna help you out. I just need you to work with me, okay? Thank you. What are you guys...
One may argue that Miss Hall's outrage was over the top, but it was certainly understandable, as Officer Morano's use of force was not only excessive, but completely unlawful. We can support this by going back to the 2018 when Rutgers criminal justice professor Wayne Fisher chaired the New Jersey Police Training Commission when it issued the state's use of force guidelines. And he stated no part of the body is off limits when an officer decides force is required to make an arrest, but the force has to be reasonable given the circumstances. He added that a punch in the head can inflict serious injury, so officers need to be judicious in their choice of action. But it can be sometimes necessary if an officer is in serious risk of being injured. Taking this into account, it makes sense to conclude that Officer Moranto was certainly not allowed to use force against Miss Hall, especially since she was already handcuffed.
I just got punched. I want to do a report. I have my hand tied and somebody just punched me in the face. A police officer just punched me and I can't fight back for my life. I can't fight back for my life and I'm in handcuffs and I'm being punched in the face by an officer. I am a woman in handcuffs.
Yeah.
I can't fight back. I get punched by an officer of the law of what's right. I want to file a report. Bring in a police officer.
Soon after this, a supervisor arrived at the hospital and made contact with Officer Hobbs, who was asked to sit down and explain the entire ordeal for an official report. Officer Hobbs explained what had happened in a very accurate manner.
Tell me what happened.
From the beginning,
Just
so...
what you witnessed from, like, when you got here. I already
You know why she's here and all that.
I'm assuming that she was...
She was in traffic. We got a ton of callers about it. She's blocking cars off of 287 in like Orchards area. So I locate her. She's walking around with her papers and they're like song lyrics, and she's just rambling off. I could smell high odor of alcohol on her. I was just talking to her for a while until I got a back, right? Because at that point we intoxicated. She's a danger to traffic. She's standing in the roadways on a busy intersection. So, Moronto gets there. He places her in protective custody, and we gather her things, transport her. She's just rambling a whole bunch, cussing, being very verbal and cooperative. We get her here, bring her back in the room. Super uncooperative, starting to like kind of get up and out of the chair and kind of kick around. The nurse staff was trying to talk to her, and she ultimately just spit in the direction of the nurse staff and it hit the floor. Still verbally uncooperative, trying to get info out of her. Staff was like, you know what, I'm not dealing with her. We're leaving the room. She's very uncooperative at this point. So she's yelling at Moronto's standing in front of her. She spits at Moronto on him, and then Moronto just kind of takes his right hand and like across her face. And that's when I took Moronto, grabbed her, and I took and pulled Moronto off her and told him to get out of the room.
Good. So she spits at Moronto. She hit him?
Yeah, right in the chest. And then he just kind of, he told me ultimately he was just trying to get her face away, but he kind of like hit her across the face. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
With his right hand?
Yeah, it was his right hand. And then at that point I was like, hey, you need to kind of holding them apart because he was grabbing her. And I was like, hey, get out of the room. And that's when I called another officer and yourself over the radio.
Okay. What charges are we looking at for her?
I have no idea. I don't know. I've just been dealing with her the whole time, so I don't know what's going on with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then the supervisor asked Officer Hobbs whether he thought Officer Moronto's actions were excessive. Officer Hobbs promptly implied that he indeed thought so, and that was why he stepped in to separate Officer Moronto and Miss Hall.
From your observation, do you believe what he did was excessive or considered excessive?
I mean, she just spit on him, right? And that probably made him a little mad. I mean, who wouldn't, right? And then I think he was ultimately just trying to get her face like to the side, but I mean, I think it was a little hard, yes.
Okay.
But I do believe he was acting in a way of trying to not let her spit on him anymore, like trying to push her face away from him. But I just took that as like, hey, that's a little too excessive. That's why I stepped in, ultimately.
That night, Officer Moronto was immediately placed on administrative leave, while Miss Hall was transported to the Larimer County Jail after being medically cleared. At the jail, Miss Hall was charged with 1 count of third-degree assault, which is a Class 1 misdemeanor. The Loveland Police Chief, Tim Doran, said in a statement, the officers were verbally harassed by excessive profanity, periodic racial slurs, and exhibited prolonged professionalism and patience, adding that our police department is filled with brave, respectful, and honorable public servants, and we all agree inappropriate conduct will never be tolerated or downplayed by your department. A few days later, Officer Moronto was fired from the Loveland Police Department, and Chief Doran released a video statement apologizing for Officer Moronto not upholding the standard of the policing profession.
First and foremost, I want to apologize to the community for the actions of our former officer not upholding the standard of our policing profession.
On June 15, 2023, the Loveland Police Department presented the case to Larimer County Sheriff's Office, and Officer Moronto was issued a court summons for a third-degree assault charge by the Larimer County District Attorney's Office. As of the date of this recording, Officer Moronto awaits court, and the outcome is still uncertain. Be sure to check out our previous video, where we cover another outrageous police encounter